Good morning students, welcome back to my channel. So this is 27th lecture on electrostatic and we are just about to complete our unit. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about dielectric and their polarization. Let me just recall, in my last lecture we discussed about the capacitance, what are the capacitors, how they are combined in series and parallel. Further we discussed about the energy, how energy is stored in the capacitor, and thereafter we studied the distribution of charges, how two capacitors when connected there is loss of energy. So all these topics we have discussed in our previous lecture. So today's topic is very much important for you because with the help of this dielectric we can improve our capacitance. So first of all try to understand what dielectric is, and then we will see how this dielectric helps to improve the capacitance. So before I begin with dielectric, just try to attach this word with insulator. I think we all are very much familiar with this word insulator. Insulator are basically those materials which does not conduct heat and electricity. This is a very basic definition of insulator. And the question arises, why it does not conduct? Because it has no free electrons. And because of no free electron, it cannot conduct heat and electricity. But the main point is there, these electrons which are attached with the atom, these electrons are not free to move, but this electron can show a very small movement which we can term as microscopic movement. This electron does not leave their shell, but they show a very small microscopic movement in their shell. And because of this movement of electron, we can say that it can conduct electric field. I am repeating, I am not saying that it can allow the flow of electron. It will only conduct the effect of electric field. So basically, what are dielectrics? Dielectrics are kind of insulator only which can conduct electric effect. It does not allow the flow of electrons. It only conduct the electric effect. Let me write the definition. So see the definition. A dielectric. Dielectric is a substance which does not allow the flow of charge. As I said you, it does not allow the flow of electrons or any charge through it, but it permits to exert the electrostatic force. Means inside this dielectric there will be no any flow of charge, but there will be the presence of electrostatic force between the molecules or atoms. So just the example of dielectrics like the glass, wax, water, air, your wood, rubber, plastic, etc. All these are the examples of dielectric. So let me elaborate the difference between dielectric and conductor. Just see. So student, try to understand these two difference. Here I had taken, this is a conductor and this conductor is placed inside the electric field. So this is my external electric field E0, and another side it is a dielectric. This geometry is a dielectric and it is also placed inside the electric field E0. Now what is going to happen? See, because of this electric field, and this is a conductor. If you remember, in conductors there are free electrons. So all the negative charge will come at this side because of this electric field, and all the positive charge will deposit on this side. Negative charge flows opposite to the direction of electric field and positive charge flows in the direction of electric field. Just remember in my previous lecture. So because of this, negative will collect here and positive will collect here, and I am talking about conductor. Conductor have free electrons, so it is possible for the movement. Now because of this negative and positive, there will be a small electric field. Electric field always flows from positive to negative. This small electric field, let me name it as internal field. So this is my internal field and this is my external field. Internal field is opposite to the external field. So this internal field is just opposite to external field. So if I talk about the net field, so the net field is given as E0 minus E internal. This is the net field, and this internal field keeps on growing until E0 becomes equal to E internal. when external is equal to internal, you can see it very carefully. At that time, your net field is equal to 0. So this is the reason we used to explain whenever the question is asked why there is no electric field inside a conductor. So you can simply answer that inside a conductor, the electric field which is induced, it is opposite to the applied field. Both the fields are in opposite direction, so resulting the net field equals to 0. So this is the case of a conductor. Now let's understand what happens in the case of dielectrics. See, in dielectrics, again it is placed in electric field. So in dielectric, the electron or proton does not show a large displacement. As I told you, it is a kind of insulator in which there is a very small movement of the electron. So a very few electrons deposit on this side and a very few protons get deposit on this side. See, the deposition of charge is very less. Again, there will be internal field. But you can see it carefully. In this case, internal field is very much weak than the external field. So we can see it very carefully. Here, your internal field is very less than your external field. So if I talk about E net, it will be something like this only. So you can say that your net field is not equal to 0. So just try to remember these 2 points which I mean to explain. In dielectric, net field is not 0, but in conductor, electric field, net electric field inside is 0. So let's see the next topic, polar and non-polar dielectric. Now try to remember this topic from the name itself. Polar. Polar means those molecules which are having pole, that is positive and negative. And non-polar means those molecules which are not having a defined pole. So we can define the polar in a very simple manner. So a molecule in which the positive charge does not coincide with the negative charge. It means in this molecule, positive and negative are separated. So if positive and negative are separated, then there will be automatically two pole, positive pole and negative pole. Such molecules are called as polar molecule or polar dielectrics. I have given some example. First example, HCl, carbon monoxide, ammonia, NH3. All these are the example of polar dielectric. You can understand in this manner. Suppose this is a molecule, and in this molecule, this is positive charge and this is negative charge. So automatically there is two poles developed in this molecule. Such molecule will be coming under polar molecules. Now see, here there is the two pole. So just remember one more important point. All polar molecules are having fixed dipole moment. If you remember the term dipole moment, that is P is not equal to 0. Means all the polar molecules, because polar molecules having positive and negative pole, and because of these two pole are equal in magnitude but opposite in polarity, and the distance between them is finite. So this geometry becomes a dipole. So all the polar molecules having a net dipole moment, yeah, you can say that your dipole moment is not equal to 0. So this was about the polar molecule. Now let's see about non-polar. So see the second one, that is non-polar dielectric. A molecule in which the mass of positive charge coincide with the mass of negative charge. Means in this non-polar, positive and negative both are coinciding on one another, so there is no net dipole moment. So such molecules are termed as non-polar molecule. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. What I mean to say, if this is positive charge, mass of positive charge, then negative will also coincide on this only. The total positive charge and the total negative charge coincide on one another, so there is no net dipole is there. In the case of polar molecule, positive and negative are different, so there is dipole. But in this case, there is no dipole moment because both are coinciding on one another. So you just remember the dipole moment of non-polar molecule is 0. That is, the dipole moment is always equal to 0 for the non-polar and not equals to 0 for the polar molecules. So these are two kinds of dielectric, polar dielectric and non-polar dielectrics. So let's begin with the next topic, that is polarization. So what does polarization means? So let's understand with the diagram. Here I had taken some non-polar molecule. If you remember, these molecules are non-polar because their positive and negative are coinciding on one another. So such molecules are non-polar molecules. Okay, and let here the external field right now is 0. So there is no external field I am applying. If no external field I am applying, so there is no dipole moment. So you can say the dipole moment are also equal to 0. But see what going to happen when we apply some external field. Suppose this is the external field E0. This time your external field is not equal to 0, which means I had applied some field. Now remember, positive charge moves in the direction of the field and negative charge moves opposite to the direction of field. So because of this external field, the positive charge will move in the direction of the field and negative will move opposite. So these molecules which are earlier they are non-polar, but after, or you can say in the presence of electric field, they starts to convert into polar molecule. Initially these molecules were non-polar, but due to the presence of external electric field, these molecules get converted into polar molecule. So here in this figure A, these are non-polar, and in figure B, these molecules get converted into polar. So this conversion from non-polar to polar, it is only known as polarization. So here after developing pole, their dipole moment is also not equal to 0. So this conversion of non-polar molecule into polar molecule is only termed as polarization. So remember, to obtain this polarization you need external electric field. In the presence of this external field, these molecules get converted into polar molecules. Just go through this small definition I have used here. The polarization, and this polarization is represented by capital P. Don't get confused with this P and this P. Here this is the small p, and this small p stands for dipole moment, which I have taught in our first chapter, dipole moment, and this capital P stands for here polarization. So polarization is defined as dipole moment per unit volume. How many dipoles are developed divided by the volume of your molecule. How much is the volume of the molecule and the dipole moments developed. And this magnitude is also represented as polarization density. Means sometimes the definition is used to ask define polarization density. So you can simply define polarization density is defined as the dipole moment per unit volume. So it is represented by capital P. Just keep this in mind. Now see, so moving to the next topic, polarization of dielectric. So first I told you about what is the dielectric, then we discussed about the polarization. Now we are going to polarize a dielectric. How a dielectric gets polarized? So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to place this dielectric inside an electric field, and after that we see how it gets polarized. So we will study this topic diagrammatically. So let's see, these are the two plates, positive charge and negative charge. You can consider as a plates of capacitor also. So between this plate there is an electric field E0. This is external electric field because of this positive and negative charge plate. Inside this field I placed a dielectric. So this figure you have seen, This is your dielectric, and initially this dielectric is non-polar. Just see at the molecules of this dielectric. This figure, this spherical surface which I have drawn, these are the molecules. So the molecules of dielectric is right now non-polar, and they are placed inside this external electric field. So if you remember, the first step which is going to take place is polarization. These non-polar molecules will convert into polar molecules. Just look at this. These are non-polar, and because of this field, they get converted into polar molecule. Positive charge moves in the direction and negative charge moves opposite. So negative on one side and positive on another side. Now see what happened in the next step. So look at this figure. First step, it was a non-polar dielectric. From here we are obtaining this figure. So this is a polar dielectric, means in this case what happens, here our dielectric gets polarized. So our dielectric get polarized because of this external field. Now see, next most important step. This internal charge, this positive and this negative, these are equal in magnitude and opposite in polarity. So this internal charges cancel out each other, and there will only the remains of boundary charges. Again I am saying, because of this external electric field, your dielectric gets polarized, and after polarization, the internal opposite charges, I am talking about these two, these internal opposite charges get cancelled out. So you will find only the boundary charges will be remaining. On this positive side plate, this is your positive plate, we will get the negative charge, and on this negative side of the plate, you will get the positive charge. So in this case, two charges, we can say two boundary charges are developed inside the dielectric. So this is your dielectric, and here two boundary charges are developed. Because of these charges, there will be an internal electric field, and you can easily see the direction of this field is from positive to negative. So this is my internal electric field, E internal. So this was external electric field, and this is internal electric field. So because of this net internal field, your overall field is reduced somewhat. So in this C figure, what is going to happen? Your reduced electric field is reduced. You can see, I think, because external field is in this direction and internal field is in this direction. Both the field are opposite. So your reduced electric field E can be given as E naught minus E internal. So this is your net field inside this dielectric, that is external field minus internal field. They are not equal. If they are equal, then you can say the net field is zero. But such thing happens in conductor. Right now I am talking about dielectric. In dielectric, internal field is less than external. So there is a reduced electric field, external minus internal, E naught minus E internal. So now we are going to discuss a few definitions related to these things. So see here, first definition is dielectric constant. Dielectric constant actually defines the value of this dielectric, and it can be obtained as the ratio of external field. External field is E naught. The ratio of external field and the reduced field is your E naught minus E internal. These two ratio going to give us the value of dielectric constant. This dielectric constant represented by K. So whenever we need to find the value of dielectric constant, we can obtain it by dividing what? External field E naught to the reduced field, that is E naught minus E internal. So this ratio is going to give you the value of dielectric constant. So let's move to the next definition, that is polarization density. I already discussed about polarization density. Dipole moment developed per unit volume of the dielectric which is placed in the external field. So whenever we place a dielectric inside the field, it gets polarized, and because of the polarization, dipole moment is developed. So all we need to find the polarization density. So polarization density is represented by capital P. It is given as dipole moment developed. So dipole moment developed divided by the volume of your dielectric. So if you further calculate dipole moment, now see, remember dipole moment stands for charge into distance. This is the formula for dipole moment, and this is your volume. So if I substitute the value, suppose the charge is Q and the distance between the plate is D. Volume, if you remember, the volume is also written as area into distance. It is also the formula for the volume. So volume can be written as area into distance. Distance to distance cancel out. So the polarization density is charge upon area. Just remember this thing, we are going to find a relation. So polarization density is Q by A. So along with this, you must also remember one more thing. We already discussed that surface charge density. In my first chapter, we discussed about the surface charge density sigma. It is given as the charge divided by area. So surface charge density sigma is given by Q by A, and polarization density is also given as Q by A. So there is a difference between two. It is surface charge density and this is polarization density. So let's move to the third definition, electric susceptibility. And student, this definition is very much important from the board perspective point. Electric susceptibility, what does it mean? See, let's see. See, the polarization is proportional to the net electric field in the dielectric. If you see the diagram very carefully in my previous slide, the electric field is the responsible for the polarization. Stronger the electric field, higher will be the polarization. So we can say that this polarization inside this dielectric, it is proportional to the electric field, the net electric field. Polarization is proportional to the net electric field. So if I remove this proportional with the equality sign, you know, when we remove this proportional with equality, we need to place here some constant. So I am placing here epsilon or times of this chi. This is not x. Remember, it is a pronunciation of chi. Chi is the pronunciation of this symbol, and here it is electric field E. So this is the main expression. You just learn this formula. This is the representation of polarization in terms of electric field. Many times question is asked, represent polarization density in terms of electric field. So P equals to epsilon naught times of chi into E, electric field. So here the constant chi, this x which is pronounced as chi, this constant is proportionality constant, and it is only called electric susceptibility. So we were talking about what do you mean by electric susceptibility. So electric susceptibility is obtained in this formula as a constant. So it is as a proportionality constant called electric susceptibility, and from this formula your chi equals to P times of epsilon naught into E. So this is the formula for susceptibility. One more important thing you must remember, here whenever we remove a constant, we only use one constant quantity, but here we are using two quantity, one x and this is one epsilon naught. So epsilon naught is only multiplied here to make this quantity a dimensionless. If I remove this epsilon naught, it won't be a dimensionless quantity. So in order to make this susceptibility a dimensionless quantity, we multiplied here with epsilon naught. So see these 2 points. The multiplicative factor epsilon naught, here this epsilon naught is only used to keep this susceptibility dimensionless. So many times the question is also asked, what is the dimension or the unit of this susceptibility? It is a dimensionless quantity. And what does it describe? The susceptibility describes the electric behavior of dielectric. So how your dielectric is going to behave in the electric field, that behavior is explained with the help of electric susceptibility. So This is the last relation in today's lecture, the relation between dielectric constant K and susceptibility chi. So we have to establish a relation between this constant K and electric susceptibility chi. So before I shall begin, let's see what we have studied till now. So because we are going to use many relations, so I have written these all relations here in rough side. Just go through it. So we have seen that because of polarization, remember this is very important, because of polarization your electric field is reduced. So the reduced electric field, this is net field E naught, that is external field minus E internal field. Then after we have seen dielectric, this K is called as dielectric constant. It is defined as the ratio of external field to the reduced field, that is E. After that we have seen polarization density. So polarization density is Q by A, and this is also equal to surface charge density, which means we can replace P with sigma or sigma with P. We can interchange these two quantity. Then after electric field due to sheet, we have seen in the application of Gauss law. In my first chapter Gauss law, we have seen the electric field due to conducting sheet, that is sigma by epsilon naught. And just now we have seen that polarization P is equal to epsilon naught times of chi into field. So we are going to use all these relations. So let's begin. So we have seen the reduced field in dielectric. So what is the reduced field in the dielectric? That is E is equal to E naught minus E internal. So let's see internal field. Now instead of this internal field, we can write here sigma by epsilon. So we just replace here with sigma by epsilon. Sigma can be replaced with polarization density. So sigma is replaced with P by epsilon naught. And just now in previous slide only, we have seen this polarization is epsilon naught times of Xe. So replace this P, epsilon naught times of X into E divided by epsilon naught. So epsilon naught to epsilon naught get cancel out. So you are getting this is E equals to E naught minus X times of E. So transferring this quantity, your E is equals to 1 plus chi equals to E naught. This is not X, it is F susceptibility chi. So your 1 plus X equals to E naught divided by E. Remember, E naught divided by E, it is equal to dielectric constant K. So 1 plus X equals to K. This is the relation. 1 plus susceptibility is equal to dielectric constant K. So just try to learn all these relations. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss this much only. In my next lecture we will see how this dielectric affects the capacitor. So we will see that in next lecture. It's my request to all the students who are watching this video, when you open the YouTube, you just go in the description box. There is a description box given in the link below. So in that description box, you just go and there you will find a link to download the PDF. So just try to download all this study material in a PDF format. So you don't have to write them. First of all, just download them and then make a fair note from that notes only. So keep study regularly. Thank you for watching.